Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Dino. It's a cold mid-November day here today in Niagara Falls, Ontario. It's only about 5 degrees. But I did manage to get out and take my DR650 for a ride over the last couple weekends and try out this new Mantt windscreen that I installed. It seemed like a really popular video. Everybody wanted to know how well it works, and today I'm going to give you my initial impression riding with this windshield. So why don't you sit back, grab yourself something warm to drink, and enjoy Dino's Tinker Shed. I should probably put a jacket on. It's not that warm in here either, but I'll see you in a minute. One of the most popular videos I've had recently was installing this Mantt windscreen on my DR650 a few weeks ago. And probably the #1 comment was people interested in how well the windscreen works. They're interested in it. It's a value-priced windscreen. It cost me under $100 Canadian, but people really want to know my thoughts in terms of wind protection, and more importantly, does it create a lot of helmet buffeting when you're out on the highway? Today, I'm going to try and answer those questions for you as best as I can. I'm going to talk to you today from my experience, both with past motorcycles, past windscreens on the DR, and the few weeks now that I've been riding with this thing, trying to gather some initial thoughts on the performance of this particular windscreen. The first thing I want to talk about is, what is this windscreen really intended for? I sometimes get the feeling people are looking for, as my friend Carl would say, a complete bubble of calm air in behind a windscreen. So when you ride on the highway, you know, at 60 miles an hour, 100 kilometers an hour, they want a pocket of calm air with absolutely zero impact on their bodies, either their helmet or their chest or their arms. And this windscreen really isn't designed to do that. You really need something like what's on a Goldwing, a full dresser Harley Davidson, or even something like a Spitfire Tombstone windscreen that's going to cover all the controls, the bars, and everything, and provide the rider with that calm pocket of air. If that is indeed what you're looking for in a windscreen, I'll tell you right now, this Mantt windscreen is not what you're looking for. This is really still what I would classify as a fly screen. It's there to sort of impact some of the oncoming air, knock a bit of debris out of the way, and provide the rider with adequate protection to get you down the road and back out onto the trails. And for that purpose, I think this does really, really well. Like I said before, I've had about 2 to 3 weeks and about 4 rides on this, putting on about 200 kilometers on different types of riding terrain. So on freeways at around 100 to 110 kilometers an hour, highways around 80 kilometers, 50 miles an hour, gravel roads, and even some trails that my friend Carl and I got out on to see how this thing would manage through the brush. And overall, it's doing exactly what I expected it to do. If you remember, I had a BMW Dakar 650 windshield on this bike previously that I had mounted with some pretty sketchy, heavy hardware and vibrated a lot. This fits much better. For anybody that's wondering how well the quality of the fit and finish is on this, I'm very pleased with it. The windshield itself is very well attached to the factory front fairing. It doesn't vibrate at all. it doesn't wobble around or impact the way you ride at all. I don't even feel it on the handlebars. But it's really designed, as I said earlier, as just a little bit of a breather for the person riding this on the highway and to give you some relief in the chest area of your riding suit. And that's exactly what this does. When I'm out on the highway, there is a very nice calm pocket of air sort of right around here. My torso section is protected very well from the oncoming wind with this particular windscreen. It does allow air to flow around it, and it hits my arms. I can feel it definitely on my arms, which I like because in the summer months I have vents on my arms, which most people do on their riding jackets, that you can open up and you still get good airflow through your arms and cools your body in general. But in the fall like this, I just put an extra layer on and that wind really wasn't an issue. In terms of the helmet, that seems to be where most people are concerned. Is there a lot of wind blast, and is that blast a buffeting effect? So that rhythmic woo 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 sound that you can sometimes get if the fairings aren't designed really well. From my experience, now I'm about 5'11", I think it's 185 centimeters if I remember correctly. I didn't notice any buffeting, and I rode both with my visor up and my visor down. You do definitely get wind on your helmet. There's no denying that. But it seems to be clean air to me. It's just pushing on it. It's what I'm used to riding with. Most of my motorcycles in the past, in fact, all of them had low windscreens like this. So again, I may not be the best person to evaluate this because I haven't ridden with a really high windscreen. But for my style of riding, this worked really well. And I had no issues riding on the highway, like I say, at 60 to 65 miles an hour or around 100 to 110 kilometers an hour. It's exactly like what I'm used to. And there wasn't any kind of resonance that would drive me insane. So if you're worried about that and you're my height, I think you're in good shape. So overall, I would recommend this windshield to someone who understands that it's not going to provide full coverage, is looking for some body protection for warmth, and understands that there is going to be some wind on your helmet. I think this is a good value, and I'd buy this again. Are there better windscreens out on the market? Probably. And depending on what your requirements are, this may or may not be the right thing. I can only give you the information that I have and what my thoughts are on this windscreen. I bought this with my own money. I'm giving you my honest opinion, and I hope I explained my kind of priorities in a windscreen versus what yours might be. And that leads me to comments. If you have this windscreen or one similar to it, I think the Baja Works is very similar to this, please leave a comment down below. Let people know your experiences with it. Maybe you're a shorter or a taller rider than I am, and your impression of it just is much different than mine. I'm pretty confident other people will want to read those comments and help formulate their decision on whether or not to buy this piece. And I guess that kind of brings us to the end of this episode. My riding season, I think, is coming to a close here. I know my buddy Carl's already put his DR in the shed and he's waiting for spring. I might get out one or two more times, but really my videos are gonna sort of switch gears a little bit as I start to prepare my snowmobile. I've got a four-wheeler in my trailer out there that I need to get in here and do a little bit of work on. So I'm gonna probably focus a little bit on that style of video and maybe some more tool reviews over the next short term. So whatever you're tinkering on, I hope that you have yourself a fantastic day and you have good luck working on your stuff. And until then, you tinker easy. I'll see you soon.